Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage, and welcome to the beginning of our 24 valve Cummins build. So I know we just got this truck, we kind of sorted some stuff out already. You might think we already kind of started the build, and don't get me wrong, we did a little bit. We started with our air dog, which is our base to save our VP44 injection pump, but here's where the mods are really going to start. So we got the truck set up here in front of the garage so we can start tearing this thing apart. So really the goal with the truck, we went over this thing and we looked at our front brakes, our rear brakes, all that kind of stuff. Our one ball joint we had to replace up here. We do have a couple steering components in the front we need to address that I noticed on our long drive the other day. But other than that, I'm very happy with how the truck performs. The brakes feel great and all that. But anyway, it's time to start tearing in this thing and get it right. So appearance wise, I don't mind how it looks. It's fine. It is what it is. It's what we bought. It's what we want. It's just kind of that sleeper. You never suspect it, but you hear it and you're like, wait a minute, something's going on. So that being said, we will probably kind of take a little different approach under the hood. We're going to go, eventually I would like the under hood of the truck to kind of pop and look good.
Pop the hood.
But for right now, we're going to address some issues in the engine compartment. One of those being oil leaks. So the whole front of the front cover is covered in oil. Originally, I was thinking that it was our CCV, our crankcase vent, that was leaking. And then a lot of you guys had commented that there should be like a tank at the bottom of that hose to catch everything that I guess you empty. But also our belt up here, it's missing a rib, if you guys can see. But we got oil all over the place, so I don't know if it's coming from the crankcase vent and then getting slung around by the fan, or if it's coming from the leaking cover. I don't know. So we're going to take all the precautionary measures with that. We're going to go forward and we're going to replace that gasket. I'm still torn whether we should pull the whole like injection, I don't even know the right terminology for this stuff, to be honest with you. The whole like gear case, I don't know if we need to go that far or if we just should pull the cover. I'm thinking for right now we just pull the cover, put a new gasket on that, take care of the KDP, because there is a killer dowel pin on these 24 valves from what I understand. Now that being said, inside of the gear case there is a little bit more room, so it doesn't necessarily destroy the gear case. It could just kind of move around in there and end up in the oil pan. Like I said, I don't know 100% about these. I'm learning as I go, but that still could be an issue. So with that leak, it could also be the front seal, all that kind of stuff. We're just going to get in there and fix that kind of stuff. That being said, we also developed another problem after our long drive the other day. I did notice the coolant, there was a coolant, I don't want to say it was a puddle, but there was like a wet spot under the truck after I let it sit for like a while. Got up there and looked, and I couldn't see any coolant leaking, but you could see coolant droplets kind of underneath the radiator and all that. So I don't know if a coolant hose is leaking. I don't know if we have a slight leak in the rad. I'm not sure, but we're going to have to address that as well. So like I said, there's a multitude of other stuff we're going to do under here, but we're going to start and kind of work our way from front to back, get to the engine, get to our timing cover, and I guess it's timing cover, gear cover. You guys tell me down in the comments. I'm pretty sure I guess it's the timing cover, but we're going to kind of just go through this, get everything sorted out, add some parts so we can make some power and to be able to handle that power with our stock engine. We're not really going to go through the engine at this point in time. We just want to get this thing and make it a little bit more peppy. So that's where we're at. We're going to start by kind of draining the coolant and working our way towards the engine. So guys, as you can hear, we are draining the coolant. But we have hit our first snafu, possibly the reason this truck was sold. I started, emptying the coolant. I'm like, man, that smells really weird. And I we look, yeah, that's not how coolant is supposed to look. So, yeah, we'll drain that all out and see if we can figure out what's going on with this thing. When we drove around for a couple hours the other day, it never got hot, never acted weird. We just did an oil change. Yeah, maybe we got some issues that need to be addressed. I don't know, but coolant doesn't look good and it doesn't smell good. So we'll keep tearing this thing apart, but this might be a bigger job than we ever thought. So guys, as you can see, we are a good bit later. We are a good bit further into getting this thing apart. The front end is pretty much all apart. Now, I did struggle on one portion, and I feel like I just need to say something because I feel too stupid. So you see, I was trying to get the fan shroud off without pulling the fan because I wanted to show you guys how I pull a fan. Just, you know, where I could get the camera in, all that. So I was like, all right, not a problem. You know, push the fan shroud back and then pull the rad. Well, the fan shroud's bolted to the radiator in two spots over here, and the windshield washer reservoir is covering that. So at first you're seeing these two tabs and this thing, and you're like, all right, so I'll pry it out, and I just couldn't get it, because you can't see this one unless you kind of like look over here, and both of these are recessed into here, and it's like, what is so important about this windshield washer fluid bottle that you need to have this thing so secure? It was just a real pain, and to get those two bolts, and it was kind of one of them things. You started on the track and you couldn't get it, and now you're like, I gotta figure this out because it's really getting up my butt. So anyway, we got the rad out, the intercooler out. Now, a couple things interesting about the rad. I don't know if this, or the intercooler I should say. So look how much this thing is necked down from the factory. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like, why would you even need this size hose end if you're going to neck it down that much to get by the rad? I mean, and that's on both sides. And the other thing, if I had to guess, this thing's been repaired before, because I certainly hope that is not a factory weld. It's aluminum, but yeah, that is some clumps. That's if I had to guess, this thing probably leaks like a sieve. The rad, it looks okay. It's got some staining on it, not too bad really, but we did have coolant kind of everywhere. So that's the other thing. Look at the coolant. It is definitely darker than it should be. It's got a certain aroma to it. This isn't just coolant. I feel like there's some oil in there. If you look at it, you can see a bit of a sheen. So maybe that's why they were selling this truck. I don't know. Honestly, it would not have affected if we were buying it or not. Honestly, the head's probably going to have to come off this thing. If you guys know of something that the second gen 24 valves do that puts the, mixes the oil and coolant other than possible head gasket failure, let me know. But like I said, I drove this thing around like 2.5 hours last night and never had an issue, never got hot. You know, the coolant never, did anything. It was just fine. So I don't know. We just might be tearing deeper into this thing than I originally thought. So anyway, let's get to kind of getting this fan off. I'll show you how I do that to get it off this pulley without having the correct tools. I'm sure many of you know this trick, but for those who don't, it'll be a learning experience. All right, so as you guys can see, it is the next day. Had some issues with my compressor last night, and it was a whole thing. So I finally got it going and all that, but anyway, called it a night. So what I wanted to show you guys is how I take the fan clutch hub off, how I actually get the fan off. So if we wanted to pull like the rad and the fan shroud all as one unit, this is how we go about that without trying to take a whole bunch of stuff off. Or like if you have a gas truck and you need to get the water pump in or out, here on our Cummins it's nice and small, it's easy, but on like a V8 or something you might have to pull the fan hub off. This is an easy way to do that without taking like the whole front of the engine apart. So this thing spins on, spins on backwards, if you will, kind of counterclockwise, looking at the face of the engine. It spins on counterclockwise. So we want to go clockwise and kind of break this thing loose. So we'll be using this air chisel. So all we got to do, and my compressor will probably kick on because it's not really that great. So all we got to do is kind of rattle one of the flats here, and it should kind of come right loose. Actually, that might be enough there. So I got it broke free. Yeah. Man, this thing is tight. The fan's off. What pain. It fought me the whole way. I had to use channel locks and all to get it off. But it's off. So that's how you take the fan off. They're not normally that tight. And honestly, looking at this thing, somehow I think somebody might have cross-threaded that thing on here. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, how do you even do that? I don't know. But anyway, it fought me coming off. Had to use the channel locks of heat, like I said. But normally, you rattle it, and once you get it moved, you can just spin the thing off freely. But, over the 200-some thousand miles in the 22 years, who knows what all's done to this thing. So that's our first little finding. So we'll get the belt off. I'll get the belt off. I'll get the that pulley off, and that'll be it for this video. All right, so our fan and hub are off. If we look at this thing, I mean, look at those threads. I think that thing was cross-threaded on there. I don't even know how that's possible. I mean, how do you not move it? Oh, air tool. How do you not know the fan's threading on? So anyway, we got the front of the truck tore down. We got the AC compressor off the side. I don't know what I'm going to do. Kind of like driving the truck. Kind of would like to have the AC work. So I don't know. Also, I would like to, maybe if we can put the AC condenser behind the intercooler, that'd be pretty cool. So you just see the intercooler, because looking at these welds on this one, I'm going to say we're going to need an intercooler. Also, as far as the rad goes, look here, we got some stains there, some staining there. So we're going to need a rad. We're going to need to figure out where the oil is coming from in the coolant. I mean, when we took that coolant out, it just had such a stench of oil. It was incredible. Got some leaks to fix. So let me know down in the comments. Maybe that oil getting in the cooling system is something that these 24 valves are known for. I don't know. I'm going to have to do my research as well. But, you know, is it a head gasket issue? Is it an oil cooler issue? Is there some other thing on here that I don't know of? I know there's a transmission cooler, transmission fluid cooler down there. But, you know, it doesn't smell. It smells like regular old oil. I think, actually, if that cooler goes, from what I read, it'll actually take out the trans. So that'll have to go. We got our leaks to figure out. This project may end up being a lot deeper. And we might have to dive a lot deeper into this thing a lot sooner than I had anticipated. That oil in the coolant, yeah, just something's not right there, and I don't know what it is. So we got to figure that all out. But we got a good start. The front of the truck's all apart. That fan fought me getting off. I mean, they didn't really have to do that. I could have just unbolted it from the get-go, but you guys get the picture. Just kind of hit it with the air chisel on the corner, and normally they come off. Ours apparently was cross-threaded, so it is what it is, and I'm sure it's not the last little find like that we're gonna uncover. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think, where we should go, what we should do to the truck or to the engine. Let me know. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.